Hi. Hi. We're going to do some reviews today. One of the many tens of viewers I get asked me if I would do a review. And I was thinking about it and I'm like, well, I'm going to Los Angeles next week. And I always like to travel with a little mini wardrobe of fragrances that I like to wear. LA is going to be screaming hot. Over 30 degrees every single day we're there. So I'm going to pick some summer scents that I want to take with me. And in doing so, in the lead up to this, I decided I'm going to order a few decants and see if there's anything interesting out there that I really want to try. And so I've done just that. But I'm going to do something a little different with regards to the reviews I'm going to do today. In that I'm going to use someone else's reviews to sum up how I feel. I may build on it at the end, but I think some people have decided that these fragrances are great. They've posted really fantastic reviews already online on sites like Basenotes, Parfumo, Fragrantica. And I'm going to steal, and I'm not even ashamed of it. And so, like I said, this is summer fragrances, and this is what we're going to do. And so the first one, these are in no particular order. I just have them lined up in front of me. I found the reviews. I've saved them. And so we're going to talk about today is Acqua di Parma's Buongiorno. Buongiorno. One of my favorite fragrances. This isn't a decant. As you can tell, I bought a little 30 ml bottle. I bought this fragrance last year, absolutely loved it. It's carried over for me to this year. And so I have a review here from a Woodland Walk that basically says the following. Delicious, subtly fresh and natural, has the Acqua di Parma DNA. In other words, it's quintessentially Italian and perfect for summer. I couldn't agree more. Very light though. This is definitely unisex in that pleasant citrus herby way, opens with spearmint, dries down to a perfect abstract, summery woody citrus. For some reason, it made me think of the talented Mr. Ripley. This is the part of the review that I really keyed it on, because the talented Mr. Ripley is one of my favorite movies. And second of all, I think if you're looking for summer style, the talented Mr. Ripley is one of the best timeless men's style guides that you could ever find. Just watch it, you'll see it's fantastic. Jude Law, Matt Damon, they both look fantastic in it. So for some reason that made me think of the talented Mr. Ripley. It's probably too uplifting and pleasant for, say, Tom Ripley or Dickie Greenleaf. They'd wear a more masculine classic Acqua di Parma, but Marge would definitely wear this perfectly. That's Gwyneth Paltrow's character. I disagree with that. I think both Tom and Dickie would wear this. Anyways, imagine Marge floating around Capri, maybe wearing a citrus yellow linen and a very wide brim straw hat. I couldn't agree more. I think this is one of the best fragrances ever. For summer, I actually think for a summer freshie, not even a freshie, but for a summer fragrance, it lasts quite a long time, which is like sort of a bonus. Sometimes I want a fragrance to last all day. As I said in the last video I posted, sometimes I want a fragrance to disappear because I want to apply another one. And I want that one to disappear and I want to apply another one. I want to be 3 people in a day. Morning, afternoon, evening. This fragrance is not that one, unfortunately, but it's so good. I don't mind smelling like this all day. On to the next one. We're going to talk about Ormonde Jayne Man. What I like about Ormonde Jayne is that they sell small bottles because it's not cheap. Their stuff is not cheap. I have Montebaco Intensivo. I think I have Verano as well, one of the Veranos. This is just Ormonde Jayne Man. Oh, that's a good one. I love that fragrance. And so I'm going to borrow a review from Mr. Epicurean. I'm assuming by his handle that this guy likes gourmands. This is not a gourmand, but still. I can't praise this scent highly enough. A textbook example of a modern masculine. For starters, the zesty but controlled whirl of pepper in the opening is brilliant. Some of that pepper lingers on to join the main attraction of muted woods and a touch of oud, with a quiet berry note to sweeten things up a bit. It all dries down into a warm woody glow that is soft yet substantial. It's perfectly calibrated blend and smells marvelous. Longevity is exemplary. I agree with that. 3 or 4 spritzes last all day. I agree with that. And sillage couldn't be better. Also agree. And if that weren't enough, Ormonde Man exudes class. 100%. A lot of it. Ideal in any situation, any season, day or night. No wonder I've worn it more than any other scent over the past 8 years. A rare 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10? I don't know. Have I come across a 10 out of 10 fragrance? I'd have to really think about that. But this is unbelievably good fragrance. I know it's not brand new. I'm not reviewing anything that's really brand new except for maybe one that's fairly recent. But this is such a versatile fragrance. And going back to the previous fragrance of Talented Mr. Ripley, yeah, Tom and Dickie would definitely wear this. It's not old manish. I want to say that up front. I know a lot of these like men's scents that a lot the Gen Z crowd will say they're unk or they're like old manish. I don't find that. I could be wrong, but again, why would you not want to smell classy, right? I mean, there's a time and a place for smelling like a sweet vanilla cupcake or a bowl of berries, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes you want to smell like a man. You want to project a little bit of authority and a little bit of power. Ormonde Jayne Man is the one that's going to do that for you. Moving on to the next one is one by Balmain. I'm a big fan of Balmain. I don't think they're talked about enough. I like all their fragrances, really. One of my favorite fragrances, and I'll do a full review on it in the future, is Carbone. I think it's one of the sexiest date fragrances. I think it's one of the best going out at night fragrances there is. I absolutely adore it. But I just ordered a couple of decants. One is Bleu something, the name escapes me. And this one is called Blanc Galaxy. I love this fragrance. I have this weird sort of thing that I do is I wear a fragrance to bed every single night. And I do it for sort of two reasons. I just spray it on the top of my hands. It's a nice way to sort of unwind at the end of the day and sort of analyze the dry down while I'm either reading or maybe I'm watching like an episode of Seinfeld or something as I fall asleep. And in the morning, I can wake up and give my hand a sniff. And not the best longevity test because I maybe have gone blind over the course of the evening, but nose blind. But I don't know. I still think it's a good way to test a fragrance. I could have still smelled it in the morning, so it's got fairly decent longevity. But here, I'm going to steal this review from Olaire Nouvem. I love his little handle picture is fantastic. It's Gustav from Grand Budapest Hotel, who was a classy gentleman who loved l'air de panache. Blanc Galaxy is very good. I do agree it smells a bit like expensive lemon-scented cleaning fluid, but so do quite a few other fragrances in this genre. I'm going to pause there for a second because the interesting thing about this is I think we're actually looking at these things the wrong way. I think cleaning products actually smell like colognes. And the reason that is like when you're a junior perfumer and you get a job at Givaudan IFF for Firmenich and you're doing fragrances, most of the stuff you get asked to do are for products, home scents, air fresheners, cleaning products, laundry soaps, that sort of stuff. So it crosses over. I guarantee you Quentin Bish has designed a laundry detergent and now he's designing absolutely fantastic fragrances. So of course there's going to be a bit of like crossover and cross-pollination. They want laundry soap to smell like fresh and summery, and you want your cologne or fragrance to smell fresh and summery. This crossover is going to happen. So while I understand pointing it out, I don't really understand the criticism, to be honest with you, but I digress. Anyways, it is a slightly sweet, creamy citrus with a white floral accord touch and a really nice contribution from myrtle, an unsung hero of a note. It reminds me a bit of Dior Homme Cologne 2022, or a slightly less sweet version of Chanel Allure L'Homme Edition Blanche, but somehow less overly masculine and completely unisex. He goes on to say, I'm editing my original comment that I would buy a bottle for the right price, although I wouldn't go run to a retailer and buy it at full price. And I am actively looking for a bottle because of 3 full wears. I love it. That tells you quite a bit. I'm debating buying a full bottle. But then again, this is 10 mils. This is going to last me the summer, if not next summer as well. That's plenty. I'll probably have moved on to something else by then. I may decide that I absolutely adore it, like the Buongiorno. I swear to God, when I run out of this, I'm going to go and buy a 200 ml bottle. But yeah, this person obviously loves this fragrance. He goes on to say, its current Fragrantica score is 4.23 and is accurate and deserved. I'd probably give it a 4.35 if that's that good, out of 5. Couldn't agree more. that's a fantastic fragrance. I'm going to be wearing it. I'm taking it to Los Angeles with me. I have a couple events I'm going to go to, a couple of really nice fancy dinners I'm going to attend. I think that's a really good one to wear. It's really bright, and in that sort of heat, it would definitely not be cloying. Yeah, moving on. Here's an interesting one. And yeah, I know this is expensive, and I'm never going to buy a full bottle because I just can't bear the thought of putting out that kind of money for a bottle of fragrance. And it's fairly recent, is Creed's Wild Vetiver. I bought a decant of it. And I remember smelling it in the store and just like was sort of amazed, but not in a good way. It was in the men's style bottle. It was marketed as a men's fragrance, and it's clearly leaning fairly feminine. Now, on the dry down, it matures a little bit and definitely goes in that unisex category, but it is still fairly feminine. But what I like about it is that I love a rose fragrance, and summer rose fragrances tend to be more on the feminine side, and this is one of the other ones I found that sort of like dip its toe into the masculine pool. But what I also like about a floral or a men's fragrance is for men, a floral for men, rose specifically, is that I like the juxtaposition of being like a man, clearly, beard, I dress like a man, and, tattoos, not that they're masculine, but like I have an image that I think people see. And then when they smell me wearing something like Wild Vetiver, that juxtaposition has something delicate, a little more floral, light, just a touch of vetiver in the background. I love that juxtaposition. I like the incongruity of that. I think it's absolutely fascinating. But I got a review here from A Whole New World. My first Creed purchase that I bought right after sampling. I love this one because of the pronounced rose note, which bridges the top and the base notes typically in perfumes. Given that my skin chemistry projects rose and base notes immediately, the woodiness showed up well for me at a 6 out of 10, and the rose lingered. I agree with that. Rose fragrances just work on me as well. Is the vetiver clear here? Not so much. I also agree with that. Vetiver is not what I would have used to describe this. I think that's like a marketing term. I have a decant of Creed's Original Vetiver, and that's a vetiver fragrance. This is not a vetiver fragrance. I just think that's a weird name to have given it, but whatever. Not so much, but it's there. It's just enough for me to like it. This overall score is an 8 out of 10. I agree. And the reason I'm taking it with me on my vacation is because it's really light, and I like that juxtaposition of the floral. I'm not scared with feminine leaning fragrances at all. I actually have a couple bottles of fragrances that are just outright women's fragrances, according to the marketing. YSL Libre Parfum comes to mind. Yeah, I can't think of the other ones at the moment. But regardless, I'm comfortable stepping out of my box. I know some guys will be like, I want something like hyper masculine. That's fine. I also think, though, that in this day and age when a lot of men, especially young men, are gravitating to the sweeter, fruitier things, I think the next logical step would be florals. But that's just me. And finally, I'm going to do one more. I just got this one. I absolutely love it. And it's sort of a tea-based fragrance. I love tea fragrances. I have a couple. I think Oolong Cha by Nashane is obviously the sort of the go-to. My favorite, which I think has some pretty decent tea notes, is MFK's Acqua Universalis. Love, love, love that one, man. That's got decent longevity. And not that I give a shit about compliments, but it's one of the rare fragrances that every time I wear it, at least one person mentions it, which is kind of, who doesn't like a compliment? But this one's from Guerlain. It's called Néroli Outrenoir. And I just got this a couple days ago. I've only worn it once for a full day. Definitely on the lighter side. But let me read a review. I got this one. It's from Michelle, so it's from a woman, so take it. But I think it sums up how I feel exactly. Very beautiful, long-lasting. Black tea with some sugar added. Néroli, citrus. The kind of smokiness that you find in some black teas. In the beginning, for the first 3 hours, I think it smells better in the air than it does when you put your nose close to your skin. But after the dry down, after about 3 hours, it smells amazing when you bury your nose in your skin. Slightly sweet. So yeah, I wore it all day, and then I actually wore it to bed that night and did that whole put my hand in my skin sort of thing. And it's just such a beautiful smell. It is so well crafted. It's a real tea lover scent. If you love tea scents, you will love this. A real gem from Guerlain. I actually think this could easily be worn year round. I think you're probably right. A bit of darkness for the winter, a bit of lightness for the summer, a mingling of both for spring and fall. And that summed it up really beautifully. I love this fragrance. I can't wait to wear it like in a proper sort of setting where I'm wearing the right outfit. I like to style my outfits with my fragrances. It's a whole thing I do. But anyways, I hope those interviews were good. I know I'm not going into the notes or anything like that. This is just food for thought. I want you to go read the reviews yourself, maybe order a decant. You don't have to buy the big 10 mil like I do. Get a 2 mil. Shit, get a 1 mil. Get one wear out of it. And like I said, I think on my last video, summer's only 12 weeks long. You don't have to commit to like several of these fragrances and buy full-size bottles. Just buy a decant and you can essentially rent the season that way, because next year, who knows what you're going to be into, right? My fragrance choices have matured. I hated summer fragrances for the longest time. And I actually think that's sort of a normal thing. I think you sort of start liking the lighter fragrances because they're safe. And then as you mature, your tastes sort of adapt. You start looking for something different, chasing the obscure, chasing the abstract and the dark. And I definitely did that. But I've decided that this year was the year I was going to explore summer fragrances beyond like, the classic standbys like Acqua di Gio and stuff like that. And not that there's anything wrong with that. Fantastic fragrance, a classic. But yeah, these are the ones I'm going to be wearing next week. They're really good. They're fairly complex and for a summer freshie. And they're definitely worth a decant if you just want to give it a couple wears and see how you do. And if like Wild Vetiver or Blanc Galaxy, which tend to be lighter, maybe a little more on the feminine side, maybe that's something you want to give a try. Try that juxtaposition. It's worth a shot, right? All you got to do is wash it off and sell it online. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope this format worked for you. I'm going to do another one of these this summer. I'm going to do one, I think, once every couple weeks where I talk about fragrances. I got a whole stack of them over there. I'm not into the newest fragrances unless they're super special. I'm not buying into that hype. I need time to pass and see if they actually have legs before I commit to buying anything. And as a final note, all these fragrances bought with my own money, none of them gifted to me. And yeah, makes the review, I like them. I think I chose well. I'm happy with my choices. Anyways, thanks for watching.